Do you often create complex arrangements and use a massive amount of tracks and effects in your music productions? Are you sometimes feeling that it takes too long to finish a piece of music? In this video, I'm going to teach you about the KISS principle and how you can use it in your music to get to your end result much faster and with less effort. First, I have to confess something. I am a complexitator. I might have just made up that word, but basically I mean that I tend to overcomplicate things and processes I work on. This has three main disadvantages. First, it takes longer to complete a project. Second, the result is often overly complex, which in many cases can be a barrier for the audience. And third, it is so much harder to mix the finished piece of music. This is why I have started using the KISS principle, and you should too. Alright, so what is the KISS principle? KISS stands for Keep It Simple Stupid. And what does it actually mean in practice? Well, the KISS principle states that most systems work best if they are kept simple rather than made complicated. Therefore, simplicity should be a key goal in design, and unnecessary complexity should be avoided. Let me give you a very good example. Have you ever heard about a thing called a Rube Goldberg machine? Probably not, but I bet you have seen one of these, often used by inventors in cartoons. It is a machine or complex creation where you use a series of devices or mechanisms that perform a simple task and that are linked together to produce a domino effect. Each step in a Rube Goldberg machine acts as a trigger for the next step in the sequence. And the end result is usually so incredibly simple that the whole series is just silly. And to be honest, a Rube Goldberg machine is basically just a fun experiment. So instead of using all these unnecessary steps to perform a simple action, you should obviously use the KISS principle. The KISS principle would have you ask yourself, what is the shortest and easiest and most foolproof way to get to the end result? Alright, so how can you use the KISS principle when you make your music? Well, you should always remember the basic elements of music: rhythm, harmony, and melody. And you need to realize that you don't actually need that many instruments playing at the same time, or that many effects all over the place to make a good song. In fact, the more you add, the more difficult it will be to mix it into a professional sounding song. So for each instrument, sound, or effect plugin you add, go back to the KISS principle and ask yourself, does this really add to the overall experience for the listener of the song? In many cases, we just add more things because we can. But remember that the end result is all that matters to the listener. I have decided to always have the KISS principle in mind when working on any project, whether that is music or anything else. And I really recommend you to also apply the KISS principle to your projects to help you actually finish your songs and also make them have more focus in the end result. And now it's time for you to take action. Open up a project in your DAW that you have been working on. It could be a track you already finished or something you still work on. And analyze that project with the KISS principle in mind. Which tracks and effects could you remove? And remember that removing one thing actually puts more focus on the things that remain. I'm Mike, signing out, and you rock, my friends.